Welcome to episode 94 of the High Volume Hiring Podcast. I am Stephen Rothberg. I am one of your two co-hosts and also the founder of College Recruiter Job Search Site, where we believe that every student and recent graduate deserves a great career and that it should be easy and inexpensive for employers to hire them. I am joined today, as always, almost always, 99.8% of the time, I think, to be precise, for those like my co-host who are very data-driven, by Jeanette Leeds. Jeanette, good to see you.
Awesome. Good to see you too, Stephen. Hi, everyone. Those who don't know me, Jeanette Leeds, also with College Recruiter now, along with HR Tech Advisor, AI Strategist, all sorts of fun stuff. And we are joined here today, really excited, with Sam Fitzroy, who's the CEO and co-founder of Dalia. And just so excited because today we are going to literally talk about how you can increase your career site conversion rates, literally, you can save 50% of your job board spend, like 50%. So welcome, Sam. So happy to have you here today. It's great.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Awesome. Why don't we kick this off with usual? Give us a little bit of background and like, who are you and what's Dalia?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm Sam, co-founder here at Dalia. I live in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston.
Nice.
And today it's beautiful after
nice.
straight of rain. So I'm happy to be out of that.
Ed,
I've been in the space, like the HR tech space, since 2008. I started at Indeed when it was a small startup. I was there for about 8 years, focused on ATS partnerships and product work with ATSs. Worked on the first version of their Quick Apply product that was, originally made to integrate into ATSs and try to fix the mobile issue. But now it has kind of morphed into this big thing, and I'm on the other end of it now with our customers. And it was one of the motivating forces to start Dalia after I left Indeed. But I was with TheMuse for a couple of years, and then started Dalia about 5 years ago.
Awesome. Well, the regular viewers and listeners will know that Jeanette and I are both love data and we actually use it to drive our decisions, not just to justify decisions we make later.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I was really happy to have you on, Sam, is I think that you're a kindred spirit in that, and you kind of I think you probably have like that. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm happy to have the data prove me wrong.
Yeah.
And I think, we'll have some interesting things to talk about. So tell us a little bit about Dalia's product. If I'm an employer doing a lot of hiring, why would I want to talk to Dalia? What is it that you can help me with?
So our product is a candidate conversion platform. And we focus specifically on career sites and improving the conversion rate of visitors to career sites to completed applications in the ATS. And most of the employers that use Dalia are facing like really similar challenges, which is they have steep hiring goals. Typically, they're hiring in industries where there's a shortage of talent, or it's just hard to find, even in this economy, like healthcare, skilled trade, or there's just really high turnover, like food service. And so the common theme is they're hard to find candidates. Most of the companies that use us are hiring at pretty high volumes, and they have just become over the years very dependent on job advertising to fill that volume, to fill the pipeline.
Which is great, and we should just end the episode right there.
Right. And it works some of the time, right?
Some of the time. True.
Absolutely.
But there's been like a real push recently to basically do more with what you already have with your existing candidate databases, just kind of maximizing all the effort employers are putting into their own career sites. And so that's really what Dalia is meant to do, is just help these employers, large employers, kind of maximize their own career sites and the people who visit, like engage them in a better way.
I love that. And it's like, for me, I always think about all the different ways you can recruit or engage candidates. Like, to me, variety is best, right? Like, it's never a one size fits all approach, and you always have to iterate, and things are always changing. But it's a point when someone's on your career site, like they're there because they're interested, right?
Yeah.
And so harnessing that. So maybe talk a little bit more about, or maybe give us an example of like how one of your, obviously high volume, since this is a high volume podcast, has used that to engage and transform and quickly increase that conversion rate?
Yeah. So we have high volume across a bunch of industries. Healthcare is really interesting. When it's both healthcare and high volume, that's where we see the magic happen. Usually those employers are kind of suffering in a really big way because there's a candidate shortage. But then if their career site doesn't have strong conversion, they just have to spend that much more money on advertising to get candidate flow. So like a typical example in healthcare is nurses who might be using their phones primarily if they're looking for work. When they hit our customer's career site, generally the only option to connect or do something is to apply. And that's hard and not easy depending on the ATS. So they'll drop. Or if it's not that, maybe they'll have limited other connection options like a talent community that's not even available from the job page or buried in the footer. So like there's just a ton of missed opportunities. And that's why these companies turn to Dalia to basically help them, for everybody who's showing interest and is there, but is on their phone or might not be ready to do something like on their first time visiting. You quickly connect with that candidate and just connect to them and then keep them interested over time with automated notifications. So it really is about reducing missed opportunities with the great candidates who are on your site, but just not converting at that moment.
So when the other day you and I were on a call and you were kind of showing me what Dalia looks like, and for the benefit of the listeners and the viewers, I'll do my best to quickly describe it. Sam is being very kind and like not pitching from the podium, which we love. But I think a bit of a sort of a visual picture will help. And essentially, like, picture going to an ATS, to a career site, and maybe you're looking at a job posting and you move your cursor, your mouse to another tab because you didn't find what you were looking. You're going to go back to Google, Indeed, College Recruiter, wherever. Dalia sees that as an indicator that you are likely not going to apply. And if you don't apply, you're like a tree falling in the forest. Like, the employer doesn't know you're there. They can't do anything about it. So it'll point you to another job. It's like, oh, you weren't interested in that job? Maybe you are in this one, or enter your email address here and we'll get back to you. So like the mobile experience, you find a job that you want, you can't apply to it because you're on your phone, but you'll get that email reminder. So one of the things that you just said about that experience, Sam, caused me to remember something else you told me in our call the other day. And that is, you kind of look at different candidates differently. Like, you treat them differently, if I may. Like, you've got organic candidates that are coming from, say, Bing, Google, whatever, that the employer is not paying for that traffic. And then you've got the sponsored traffic coming from job boards, LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever. Talk to me about the differentiation. Like, why do you differentiate and how?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good kind of reminder of your original point about following the data. So when we first started with Dalia, the product that we have today is very different from what we started with because of all the data that we followed to adapt the way we do things. One of those things is we started looking at the actual conversion to hire, the quality of applicants across our customers. So looking at all of their ATS data, not just from Dalia, but from all sources, to understand what external channels were driving the best qualified applicants who got hired at the greatest rates. And what we see consistently across our clients is that applicants who apply from organic career site traffic generally get hired 3 to 4 times more often than applicants from paid sources.
Wow. Interesting.
So that was kind of a light bulb moment for us to kind of start collecting this data. And so we've definitely adjusted how we engage candidates. And so we really prioritize candidates visiting organically. And in fact, for some of our customers, for the paid advertisers they run, we just will not show Dalia to that audience because if we do reconvert them, their hire rate is just as low as those sources without Dalia. So our goal is to increase the overall quality pool by focusing on the most interested qualified candidates. And that we just see that consistently coming from organic traffic. So that's one of the data points that we followed to adjust the way we do things. And then we've learned all kinds of stuff about how the form loads, when they load, et cetera. So that's also been fun.
That's really interesting. So I'm like really focused on like all, Gen AI, Chat GPT, like all that stuff. Are you seeing like it's interesting because, by the way, just little plug, like no one should be using all these tools as a search engine, but we know at times people are. But like if someone's like, hey, where do I find a nursing job, or what's the best like places to go, or what companies, like are you tracking like conversion coming from these new, right, like
Yeah.
AI sources versus, and like what are you seeing? I feel like we didn't even talk about this in the green room, but
I
I'm like
love
sort of
this.
curious.
This is not a question that I
Yeah.
thought of. I am
Yeah.
so happy you asked this.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely see where the inbound traffic comes from.
Yeah.
We use that to kind of control how we show the
Right.
product. But yeah, we're seeing more and more come from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then like there's a long tail of others, but the
Yeah.
share of overall traffic from ChatGPT to career sites is increasing for sure. It's still not as big as Google for most of our customers.
Right.
However, like it is definitely the fastest growing channel of anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
In terms of its conversion, we don't know yet. We don't know.
Okay.
But
Yeah. I was like, I could pepper you with a million questions. I feel like, oh,
Yeah.
is it different by like different jobs or industries or whatnot? But it's probably the headline is it's growing, like, and it'll be interesting to see sort of like, I'm curious what that conversion rate
Are they more
ultimately will be.
intentional? Are they
Right. Are
less?
they not? Yeah. It'll be well, it sounds like we might need to have you back in like 6 months and be like, oh, can you tell us the data on there? What's happening?
We'll look into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What Dalia is doing for employers reminds me, and I think this is going back 15 years ago, maybe 20 even, what Jobs to Web promised to do, and really made a big improvement. Like the ATS, especially at that time, were really, really candidate unfriendly.
Yeah.
And Jobs to Web essentially put a skin on the ATS that made them a lot more candidate friendly, did not interfere with the recruiter experience because it was just the front end.
Right.
I kind of see Dalia doing something similar, but in a more advanced way, because Jobs to Web was largely like, I think you used the phrase talent community.
Yeah.
Which when you and I were talking the other day, I think I used one of my standard jokes. Talent communities have nothing to do with talent because anybody can join them. And they definitely don't have anything to do with community because there is no community there. It's an email list. And is that a fair description? Like it's a 2020s version of Jobs to Web from 15 years ago? Like just much more updated, much more fully featured?
I mean, it could be. I think Jobs to Web was awesome. Like that kind of changed the game for most employers of like, there are more channels and your career site can actually become a channel now. I think that they may have set the precedent for that. But now there's like so many platforms. There's Phenom, there's Paradox has career sites now.
Yeah.
So, what we're finding is like, it's really about maximizing, right? And the difference I think with Dalia, what we're doing, and I don't know how this varies from Jobs to Web, is just we're very active and engaged through the job seeker lens with job seekers. So every product that we build and design is really for the job seeker with them in mind. So how can somebody sign up and connect easily? How does the matching work from their perspective? How often should they be receiving notifications? One of the things that we found early is that email didn't really do much. So we tested sending notifications over text message and again, follow the data. And now that drives 75% of the applications from Dalia.
Makes sense.
Email is nearly irrelevant at this point. So that's kind of, we just follow what job seekers engage with. And we find that it's text, it's being incredibly mobile friendly. If we can improve the actual ATS application process, we'll do that. So we're doing that more and more, just converting an ATS process into a seamless flow that we can handle. But yeah, like I think the evolution here is we've taken it to the job seeker and just built for them. But what's similar, I guess, Stephen, is that we try to keep it totally hands off for the recruiting teams.
Yeah.
Their process should not change. They don't have to change a thing to get the benefits of Dalia.
I love that. So it's like effectively, I mean, the premise is optimize around the candidate, which then ultimately is a win for the employer. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's really interesting. So from a candidate perspective, you're literally just engaging with them in a way that they want to and like reminding them. And again, it's just, and that by increasing the conversion rate, like that's how the employer then can, save all this money from the paid part. I mean, that's effectively.
Yeah.
That's
And I
amazing.
mean, our goal is to kind of transform the experience that they currently see to just something incredibly candidate friendly, no matter what the career site platform is. And the data has been pretty incredible so far for most of the companies that use Dalia. At a minimum, we can double the application flow from their organic career site traffic. And depending on how big that company is, that can make a really big impact on their need to spend on job advertising. So
from a high volume standpoint, again, everything's being done at scale. So that has a huge, huge impact. Wow. Love it. Love it. Well, I'm looking at the time here. We're at 15 minutes. So I don't know if we have time for one more question, Stephen, or if we should wrap it up. I'll let you.
I'm good.
This has been great.
Yeah, no, this is really interesting. And I think too, like Jeanette, I think you were sort of saying like kind of like an all of the above strategy, right? Like none of this is like you need to replace your ATS to use this. You need to stop buying traffic from job boards and focus on, right? It's an all of the above strategy. Some candidates are going to come to you via job boards. Some of them will come organically. Some of them will come from Chat GPT. And we need to be there for the candidates as they want us to be there and when. I think this is fantastic. Well, Sam, thank you so much for spending so much time with me this week, including in this. My apologies for taking you away from things that you enjoy.
I enjoyed this. We're good.
All right.
Excellent. Love it.
Cheers. See you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, everyone. Sounds good. Have a great day. Thanks, Sam.